Okay, we want to continue our series today on the ABCs of homesteading. We want to talk briefly about a few C's. We have 3 C's to go, and we'll be moving on to the D's, hopefully. So the first one we want to talk about is cleaning. We had a nice compliment the other day of a 75-year-old gentleman who's seen a lot in his day, and he commented on how clean and odor-free our pens were. We clean every day. This is some of the tools we use. Works well for us. This is a 7-inch plastic shrub rake, and that works well on getting the poo-poos out of the yard, and also on the interior where we've got the board floors. And then in addition to that, we use that in most of the pens, certainly all the pens with their ruminants in it. And then we use square head shovels to pick up, and a 5-gallon bucket. And the square head shovels, you can either just use the handle or use the whole thing. You can also then use it as a scraper, and that helps if anything's trying to build up. Because there's always trouble spots. So that's cleaning, and then I don't know, probably once a month we try to bleach the floors in the pens. We don't always get to that, but that's the goal. Do a bleach solution to clean that up, and we'll talk about disinfecting properly in the D's when I've got my research before me. One of the other C's we want to talk about briefly is castration. One of the reasons that you castrate is that you are making a better pet for someone. We always castrate the goats before they go to a new home, unless it's going to be for breeding. Intact goat, male goat, is not a pet. It's a troll. You only have it if you need it. It's like having a stallion. You'd only have them if you need them for breeding. So you don't want to leave them intact because it's going to limit the probability that somebody's going to keep them. And they make a far better pet when they're not intact anymore. So the way that we do it is we actually band. This is Charlie. Charlie's been banded, and he's all healed up now. When you band, you can use tetanus antitoxin. I hope I'm saying that right. My sister will let me know if I've said it wrong. If you're not vaccinating for CD&T, and that's ahead of time, because it takes 2 weeks to take effect, and then you give another shot, then you can administer antitoxin at the time of doing something like that. Now, that having been said, we actually don't. We administer antitoxin before we horn burn. We don't before we band, because you are not having an open wound, okay? It's a long time before the band severs the flesh, so you don't really... to me, I don't see the purpose in it with closed castration. If it's open castration, then you've got an open wound wherein tetanus can enter. And tetanus is on most surfaces. So once you've banded Everest here, he had a little infection around his banding area. We'll see if he'll let me look, because he knows No. See, and that's healing nicely. But when that starts to come away and penetrates the flesh, then sometimes it'll get infected, so you want to watch for oozing and stuff like that. And we treat with iodine a couple times a day till it clears up. And he only took 2 days treatment, and he was all cleared up, even after it falls away. Now, one of the complications with castration can be that the cord, after the band and the testes come away, the cord can drop down through that hole, and it can look like you've just gutted your goat or your sheep, but it's just the cord. So when we talked to the vet when that happened once to us, she said tie it off, because basically if it was intestine, does it matter? Because the goat's going to die anyway. So go ahead and tie it off as if it were castrating with just some dental floss. And then you can tighten that a couple different times so it'll continue to come away. And that goat was just fine, but it was just the cord. But, you know, as a novice, seeing that, it alarmed us because we had never seen that before. So it was scary, but it worked out fine. Now with open castration, you have different kinds of complications. Being an open wound, if you're in a warm area or it's the summertime or whatever, you can end up with fly strike. So that's one of the complications with castration. Okay, so now we'll move on with the seeds and we'll go do carrots. Oh, right out here. We have a carrot video, so if for any specifics you guys want to know, you can look at that. Hi, babies. So around here, carrots can be very rewarding. I didn't used to think it was worth doing. That was before I was canning them. If you're doing it just for eating, then it's a lot of work for just a very little. Stay out of the garden, dogs. So we're a little wilty today. It's warm. So okay, so these are the carrots, and they've done really, really well this year. We kept them weed-free. When you first plant them, there's the tiniest seed that you can pretty well get, and we just plant, you know, by hand. And some people use tape, planting tape. It's got the carrot seed on there, and I've had people tell me that don't try it, doesn't work. So just, you know, plant them a carrot's width apart, thin them or they will limit their growth. Water the ground twice a day before you plant, because it's sown so shallow that if you don't do that, then your carrot seed will be dry and it won't come up on time. And then keep them weeded, because if you don't, then they'll outstrip the carrots very quickly. So okay, so we've done very, very well this year with our carrots. That's a nice carrot. This is cannibal. A lot of the problem that people have with homegrown carrots is that they branch out everywhere and people laugh and whatever. Homegrown carrots are absolutely wonderful for taste. We use, how do you say it, sister? Bariculum or Berculium? We apparently have been saying it wrong for years. Berculium 2, if you can get it, is a really good one. We've tried a lot of different ones, and this is the only one we really like. Now, we are pulling up some carrots and finding different breeds. These are heirloom carrots. The only way you can get the heirloom carrot to go to seed is on a normal year. This year they might. They're pretty. The greens are pretty dense, is to take and uproot it and then replant it for the winter, and then the next spring it'll go to seed. But we use a variety that works for us, but because it's not always true to breed, but we've found that with several suppliers. It's kind of frustrating because you'll have little short fat ones and light colored ones and even purple ones and stuff like that you didn't actually plant, which is not fun. But homegrown carrots have a wonderful taste. They're sweet. Bariculum 2 is one of the ones that you can leave in the ground longer without it becoming woody. So watch that when you're selecting your carrot variety. There's 60 days to harvest, and we are actually ready to harvest, and we're probably gonna, a couple days here, we're gonna be canning carrots. So if I wanted to, I could plant a second crop. We never have, but this year might be the year. We're doing really well this year, for a lot better than we were. But this has been ABCs of Homesteading. See ya.